Welcome to Playoff Central Live, presented by AT&T. Nabil Kareem alongside Udonis Haslem and Vince Carter. Can we just take a minute here just to appreciate how good these playoffs have been?
Yeah.
Hasn't it been ridiculous? And then, the first round is great. Second round, you're expecting maybe a bit of a letdown. And then that Knicks-Boston game yesterday, if you're a Celtics fan, I'm sorry. But that's what happens. These playoffs have been unreal so far.
It keeps you on the edge of your seat and engaged. Everybody loves the playoffs and what it brings, but this is next level where everybody is seeing great basketball. It's no blowouts. Everybody, 20-point lead means nothing in the playoffs, particularly to the Knicks.
And they also say the playoffs don't start till you get one on the other team's floor. These guys are going in, and they don't give a damn if it is the other team's floor. We are taking one, and they're not taking their foot off the gas because a lot of teams, when they win one, okay, we did our job, we stole home court, we'll chill. No, teams are being greedy.
Yeah.
Teams are going for one and trying to get another one.
Right. Warriors in that position today, taking on the Timberwolves. Golden State winning that first game. They're up 1-0 in this series, but obviously the big storyline here, Steph Curry is out, will not play tonight, hamstring injury. He's out at least a couple of games, so maybe the earliest we see him, potentially Game 5. But, guys, going into tonight, I mean, that is huge ramifications for Golden State.
100%, but that guy that we see on the screen, Jimmy Butler, is a guy who is proven, is a guy who relishes and enjoys the big moments. So, yes, a lot that your attention pans to Jimmy Butler and what he does in the playoffs. But I feel like he's going to also need some help. With that being said, that game plan and shoot around, it says what? How do we now stop Jimmy Butler? So who else will step up? Jonathan Kuminga is a guy I'm thinking about. Moses Moody is a guy who played 8 minutes, 0 points. So he's a guy who is capable of scoring, obviously playing defense, but offensively, they're going to need some scoring because Steph Curry, what he does in the playoffs, brings so much to the table and creates so much as well.
Yes.
And on the flip side of things, you got Anthony Edwards, who had a slow start in Game 1, picked it up in the second half. Critical that he gets going right from the start of this one.
Yeah, from the jump. And we talked about this earlier, and Vince made a great point. A lot of these teams in the NBA now start from the outside in. When you have the ability that Anthony Edwards have and the capability to do it, be a three-level scorer, get you some easy ones early. Get in that pick and roll, get downhill, get in the paint, get to the free throw line. If you're coming down in that semi-transition on the wing and you got your guy and there's no help, crash, break those elbows, get in the paint, and attack. Then you get yourself going, you see it going in, and then you start shooting a three. I think this is the adjustment that Ant will make tonight. He's a great player. He's a great kid. I know he's watching film. He didn't like the way he played. I think he'll make that adjustment tonight naturally.
No, he
that's the scouting report right there.
100%, because, like he said, he is so gifted, and it looks so easy one-on-one to where I think he feels like he can beat anybody in front of him. And if he takes that approach, the jump shot, the three-point shot, the mid-range will be there because of the fear of not allowing him in the paint or what he can do once he gets in the paint. Once he gets 2 feet planted, you know what happens next.
Yeah, and we can't ignore no rim protection for Golden State. We cannot ignore that. That is huge.
Yeah.
All right, Lauren Jabara is going to be working the sidelines tonight in Minnesota. She joins us now. Lauren, you heard from Steph Curry today. What did you take away from that conversation? What's the mood like around him and the team?
Hey, Nabil, it's good to be with you guys. First of all, this place is going to be rocking in a little bit, and I feel like the Timberwolves want a little better performance from their team than they saw in Game 1. But yeah, Steph Curry talked to media this morning about his hamstring strain. He said he's been in his feels a little bit over the last 48 hours. He said it's different than injuries in 2016, 2018 during the playoffs, because at that point you're 27, you're in the prime of your career. But when you get to 36, 37 years old, he said these opportunities are few and far between. They're limited, and you want to be able to take advantage of all of these opportunities that you have. And it's also uncharted territory, uncharted waters for him, because this is the first ever hamstring strain that he's had in his career, in his entire career. So he doesn't know necessarily how long it's going to take his body to bounce back. He's definitely going to be out games 2, 3, and 4, reevaluated in a week for that left hamstring strain, grade 1. But he is staying optimistic. He said it's all about the mentality. I'm treating it really well, and I'm going to be ready to go when my body's ready to go for playoff action.
Hey, Lauren, nobody is going to feel sorry for the Warriors here. Steve Kerr's got to adjust his game plan here. What is he saying on that front?
Yeah, when it comes to adjusting the game plan, Steve Kerr told us the big thing is leaning on their defense, which has been the best in the league since they've acquired Jimmy Butler. I talked to Draymond Green about it this morning, too. He said, this is one of those things where not one person is going to make up what Steph Curry brings into your lineup. It's going to take all 5 guys on the court every single time. He said, without Steph, our margin for error shrinks, so we have to be sharper across the board. He said, the good thing about our group is we've had a 12 13-man rotation all season long. And that's the thing that Steve Kerr was telling us too. No one is off the books when it comes to maybe being able to play somebody. So we'll see what their rotations look like later tonight, but I think it's going to take everybody. And the one thing that they have to keep an eye on too, Jimmy Butler and his minutes. I mean, these guys have been playing so many minutes every single night, every other day of the week. And yes, it's like regular season when you're playing 82 games and you're playing every other day, but this is playoff action. They played a game 7 just a couple days ago, came in here and get that good win for game 1. So it's going to take everybody and everyone stepping up in different situations, defensively, offensively, etc.
You know, the Timberwolves, they didn't seem very rattled after game 1. They sounded like a confident group despite the loss. How do they take advantage of this Warriors team minus Steph?
Yeah, the one thing that Chris Finch was just telling us a few moments ago is everyone looks at our shooting from game 1 and he goes, yeah, that was an issue. We didn't shoot the ball well, but I don't want people to get caught up on just the shooting. He said, we didn't do anything well in that game. He said, it kind of reminds me of back in November, some of the bad habits that we had when all of these new players were coming in and trying to gel together. He said, that's the biggest thing for us. We gave them 18 offensive rebounds. The Timberwolves are the best rebounding team in the NBA. They can't be giving up 18 offensive rebounds. He said a big thing too is their transition game was really bad. They were always playing against a set Golden State defense, and Golden State defense has been the best in the league since they've acquired Jimmy Butler. So it's one of those things. They need to get those rebounds, do what they've done all season long, get out and run. And he said it also starts with Anthony Edwards and his energy, especially at the beginning of the game. If we don't see a shot or two fall, don't hang your head. Don't get your head down. Stay up in it. But it wasn't just the shooting that he was upset about. He said it was all across the board, everything. And they need to pick it up on the defensive side, on the offensive side, and it all starts with mentality. And then if they don't see a few shots fall, just don't get down about it. Know that you're going to come out here and play your game and also take advantage. The one thing I do want to say too, I talked to Dante DiVincenzo this morning and he said, shooting wise, that game was an anomaly for us. But the one thing, like, yeah, we can take advantage of Steph Curry not being in the lineup. It's going to be a really good thing for us. But at the same token, they want to play against Steph Curry. You want to beat the best to be the best. So he's almost disappointed that Steph's not playing tonight, but said we also need to take advantage that he's not playing tonight.
Yeah, he might be disappointed, but I think he's still probably glad Steph Curry is not playing tonight. Going to be interesting to see how both teams respond to this one. Thanks, Lauren.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Good seeing you.
Yeah, Lauren.
Good seeing you, Lauren.
You know, those offensive rebounds, 18 offensive rebounds. I mean, that really stood out. That led to 13 points for the Warriors, and then they shoot 18 of 42. Defensively, Minnesota's got to clean that up.
100%. I mean, your guard, Jimmy Butler alone had 7 offensive rebounds, just his aggressiveness. And I think they should expect that more because, yes, there's going to be more attention on Jimmy Butler, but we talked about his ability to get to the free throw line and put them in the penalty, being aggressive. And who will step up because when that attention is there, he gets off the ball, which their defense is going to try to make him get off the ball. Who's going to step up and knock down shots?
Yeah, and Minnesota just being the bigger team here. You know, you look at the numbers just from Minnesota shooting threes. They were 5 of 29 in that game. Anthony Edwards, who was so great all season shooting the three ball, over the last couple of games, he has really struggled shooting that ball. He went in that game 1 of 5 from 3, and then it carries over to their last game against the Lakers. And you see right there, I mean, as far as consecutive games, playoff games, Anthony Edwards sitting at 6.3%. Small sample size, but again, UD from a guy who was draining them throughout the year. That's something that sticks out.
Yeah, I mean, he has the ability to do all 3 things: get to the paint, pull up like he left his phone, or shoot the 3. But a guy like Dante DiVincenzo, who is a guy who, if Anthony Edwards is not making shots, he is ignitable. He is a guy who, I understand he's only shooting 18% from the 3 right now and 29% from the field. But the fact that he can go on a 5, 6, 7, 8 3-point game, he's always going to demand attention from the defense. He's always going to open up things and make it easier for other guys. A la Duncan Robinson, a la Mike Miller, all these guys who can shoot the ball with that range and got that kind of clip, it always makes it easier for other guys. He has to get minutes, and I think he'll make shots tonight.
Here's Chris Finch after game 1 on Anthony Edwards doing a better job of setting the tone.
That starts with Anthony. You know, I thought he struggled early, and then you could just kind of see the light go out a little bit. You're the leader of the team, and you got to come out and set the tone. If your shot's not going, like you still have to carry the energy. If I got to talk to guys about having the right energy, you know, we're not on the same page.
Just keep shooting. I mean, yeah, that's the name of the game. You can't worry about the last shot. You know, take the next one, shoot it with confidence. And I think we've been doing that. Just didn't play well. And, you know, people going to try to blame whoever. They can blame me. I just didn't play good enough.
You're only going to be as good as your ability or your willingness or your courage to coach your best players. If you don't have that, you're not going to have a lot of accountability in that film room, and that's where it starts. So we're lucky. Our guys will take it. And, if you want the ball in your hands or you want to be in the center of the action or you want to be playing all the minutes, then you're going to be on that film.
That's on me.
We've talked about the approach of Anthony Edwards, but Julius Randle is a big part of this too.
He is. He's another guy that is extremely capable of taking over a game by himself and being the guy who can put the team on his shoulders. So when Ant is not playing well, you put the ball in his hands. And he's another guy, I think, like you were talking about with Ant, Julius Randle can't settle either.
Yes.
When he's aggressive in the paint, he's another guy that can get your team in the penalty. He's another guy that demands a double team because there's not many guys in the league that can guard him straight up. And when he's rolling, scoring at all three levels, he's another threat. And the Naz Reid is that third piece, that X factor. I think when he's playing and that three-headed monster is in attack mode, this Minnesota team is hard to guard.
Yeah, I love when Julius Randle is being a bull in a china shop. He's creating the contact first. He's being physical. He's being in the paint. And he's a guy who's going to have an advantage tonight because I promise you, Jimmy Butler does not want to get the hell beat out of him trying to guard Julius Randle all night and having to carry the offensive load on the other end. So he's going to give and he's going to defer to Julius Randle on that other end a little bit and let him kind of have his way so he can be fresh and be able to go and do what he has to do on offense. Julius can't let Jimmy off the hook. Sometimes as a great offensive player, your best defense is your offense.
Yes.
No doubt about that. And without Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler definitely stepping into the spotlight here. Playoff Jimmy got to be activated tonight if the Warriors want to go up 2-0. We'll talk Golden State after the break. Hey, Buddy Hield's gone legend last couple games for the Golden State Warriors, just coming up huge for this team. And this is the new Batman and Robin. Without Steph right now, they're going to need this to continue offensively for the Warriors. But here's Steve Kerr talking about how Golden State also plans to lean on its defense to compensate for not having Steph.
We think we have the best defense in the league, and that's been proven over the last couple of months. We can rely on our defense, and we have to generate offense, off of our D, and then we got to figure out different ways to attack without Steph. Every year playoffs are about adapting, whether it's a game plan or an injury or a lineup. So we just have to adapt, and we've done this before, and we're confident we can do this again.
We play teams without their best player. We kind of struggle sometimes. So just like treating Buddy like Steph, not letting him have a game he did last game, and he's kind of been doing that the whole playoffs. All the other guys, they're just going to be way more aggressive. They're going to have a lot more shots, and then we just can't let them get in a comfortable rhythm of playing without Steph.
A little deflating, but we know, he did a great job of helping us build a comfortable enough lead. And Robin turned into Batman. What y'all call Buddy?
Alfred.
Alfred turned into Robin. And they filled in. So it was beautiful to see.
All right, nobody knows playoff Jimmy better than you. What are we expecting? What are you expecting from Jimmy Butler in this game?
All gas, no brakes. Downhill, getting guys open. I think one thing what Jimmy will do is he'll get in the paint early. He won't settle. He won't let you off the hook. But I think what he'll do is he'll look to pass early. He'll get other guys involved early, knowing that he can get his. He likes to build his teammates' confidence up. So I think he's going to get his ball, hit his spots, isolation. And this is another thing he's added to his game. Steph's not there. I think Jimmy's going to pull some threes too, but I think he's going to get other guys involved early. One thing we know about the Golden State Warriors, the ball finds energy, and a lot of their offense is predicated off Steph's energy. Who is going to replicate that tonight? I think Jimmy's going to replicate that with getting 2 feet in the paint and getting guys open early shots and getting guys confidence.
You talk about the minutes, nothing new for Jimmy Butler, obviously, in the situation.
Well, UD, I'm going to say this. What concerns me, I don't want to even say concern. What scares me is sometimes when Jimmy gets too in facilitate mode early, it takes him a while to now get into all gas, no brakes.
Yes.
And I feel like because of no Steph Curry, they're going to put the onus on trying to stop him. I love to see him more aggressive early while obviously making the right play, which he does. But I don't want to see him get in the paint. I'm trying to find who's open. I like to see him take what the defense gives him with the onus on putting the ball in the basket, but getting guys involved if need be. I think when he's in playoff mode, when he's in score mode and I'm going to get a bucket by any means, everything else will fall in play because he has that basketball IQ. So that's what worries me.
Timberwolves need to go get Grant Williams. They go get Grant Williams and put him on Jimmy. Go get Grant Williams and put him on Jimmy, and you can go get what you're asking for.
Again, go back to Buddy Hield for a second here, who's had these 2 fantastic games. Do you trust Buddy Hield can have another one here? He can stay consistent in that role that he's had.
I played with Buddy buckets. One thing about Buddy is he is extremely confident in his game, and he understands the moment. Like he made the joke about being Batman to Robin to Batman or whichever one, but in his mind, he's always believed that he's capable. Yeah. He can bring it, and he knows this is his opportunity.
Right.
So I expect Buddy to come out firing.
Playing some good defense too.
100%.
Jonathan Kuminga, what can we expect there? Because we're going to see some Jonathan Kuminga minutes, you would think.
You need buckets, and this is a guy who can go out and get his own. And you need a guy who can go out and get their own. Sometimes offense breaks down, shot clock running down, the ball is in his hand. Can he get his own? Can he get to the free throw line? Can he get us a good shot? This is going to be a game tonight where you're missing 20-plus points. Like Draymond said, everybody's going to have to chip in. This is not going to happen with one guy going for 20 more points. And then going back to Buddy, shout out to my brethren from the Bahamas. They got us some. Hey, we ain't going with the Alfred. We ain't going with the Batman. We going with the Bahamian brother from the Bahamas. Got his conch salad, and he's doing his thing, and he has his joy. And I love to see Buddy playing because he's a great kid, so I love to see him playing well.
I want to say this about Kuminga. If I'm the old guy sitting on the bench, I pull him aside and I just say this. Believe in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Know who you are. All right? This is I know what has happened prior to this, but this is your opportunity right now on the big stage to be a hero and find your joy again.
And to piggyback what you said, those conversations, I hope, have already been happening because he would be tapped in. This is the thing what you tell young guys. I don't know when, but your opportunity has come. Right. Just stay with us. And his opportunity has come. So hopefully they've had those conversations just like you said, and he'll be ready tonight to contribute.
You know, when we look at the supporting cast for the T-Wolves, Naz Reid, Dante DiVincenzo, such a big part of this thing, why they're successful. Their numbers have dipped a bit here in the playoffs. With Naz, I feel like you know what you're getting, and he's going to be consistent. But Dante DiVincenzo, he could be a real wild card.
I don't give a damn if he missed 7 and 8. Shoot the next one. Because he is a guy, once he sees the ball go through the basket one time, he can run off 4, 5, 6, and 7. And what that does to a defensive team, they start to overreact. They start to pull triggers and do things they wouldn't normally do. That opens up the things for Anthony Edwards. That opens up the Julius Randles. That opens up the Naz Reid. He is not their best player, but a guy who can get it going like that and is ignitable can sometimes on any given night be your most important player because of the way defenses react to him.
You had a good comparison to him.
Duncan Robinson,
right, okay.
Mike Miller, those guys, we know when we put the ball in those guys' hands, it's going up. And it's almost like if they don't shoot it, we get mad at them.
Right.
We get mad at them if they don't shoot it.
And he's a gamer. I mean, he's proven in big moments, he is fearless and he's not afraid of the moment. Defensively, he's not afraid to stick his nose in there. So you just want him to be aggressive and play confidently. More than anything, when you're open, let it fly. Stop thinking. Get rid of all of the thinking and rely on the work that you've put in.
You know, there's been so many narratives around Julius Randle in that trade with Cat and, you know, what he would do in the playoffs, what he's done previously in the playoffs. So seeing what he did in that first round, and again, you guys reinforcing that he is going to be so critical here because he is an absolute matchup nightmare.
I look at the first thing I look at, forget 4 for 11, 10 free throws. That alone can set the tone for your team because you like what Jimmy Butler does for Golden State, he can get them in the penalty early. And he's had his struggles, but I think he's in a role now where he can just go be that number 2 guy. I have another guy with me, so the pressure is off. Just go out there and play. And he's done that. And he is taking it to everyone. You see the numbers right there. Speak for himself. He is very capable. And now he's that kind of 1B, let's just say number 2. There's no 1B. Like you have Anthony Edwards, but you can go out there. And he said, I just want to make the game easier for him. Well, he can do that by just going out there being himself.
I think Ant-Man speaks his language. I think think they relate to each other. And I think he's unlocked Julius mentally off the basketball court, which has allowed Julius to be his best version on the basketball court. Sometimes it takes those conversations over a bottle of wine to help both of your best players get to their best versions while they're together. And I think they've had those times. It took a little growing pains, but you've seen the best version of Julius Randle, I think, since he's probably been in the NBA, since in these playoff runs in these last couple months.
High praise right there for Julius Randle. You got to think Minnesota's going to come out firing here in Game 2, going down 2-0 in the series. Heading to Golden State, not ideal. We'll get UD and BC's predictions as we continue here. Playoff Central Live. All right, so the Warriors' win percentage this season, with and without Steph, pretty kind of surprising, right?
Excuse me. Hey, now.
Yeah. I
would have never guessed that.
That's a good tweet right there.
Yeah.
Again, obviously the Warriors would want Steph in their lineup. Okay, if you're Minnesota, you're down 1-0 in this series. Vince, what's the mentality going into this game? What do you need to do in that first 5-7 minutes?
Well, we talked about it. I think an aggressive Anthony Edwards, and let me be clear, it doesn't have to be scoring all the time. Just aggressive, making the right plays. I think this is a Jaden McDaniels game where he comes out of his shell, knocking down some threes, opening the floor up as well. We talked about Julius Randle. I said Jaden McDaniels and Naz Reid, I think, are going to be the difference makers to have big games for the Minnesota Timberwolves to get it.
What about Rudy Gobert? We haven't even talked about Rudy.
You read my mind?
I think so.
No rebounds, no rings. No rebounds, no rings. You have size. You have physicality. This is your advantage in this series.
Yeah.
This is a team where it's going down to possessions. You might go 6 or 7 games in this series. Beat the hell out of them on the glass. Extra possessions, extra shots, all that is going to matter.
Prediction time. Who do you got?
I think Minnesota pulls this one out to take us 1-1.
I take Minnesota. I mean, Ant-Man makes the adjustment. Rudy beats the hell out of him on the glass, and I think they get this one, and Dante gets it going.
All right, so it's the Warriors and Timberwolves over on TNT at 8:30 Eastern. We'll be back with complete post-game coverage here on Playoff Central Live, presented by AT&T. We're going to hear from coaches, from players, and Udi and Vince breaking it all down. We'll see you then. Enjoy the game.